Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, yesterday, we discussed about economic reforms and we learned what economic reforms is. Along with that, we discussed about what are the objectives or what are the main things in economic reforms or why these economic reforms came into existence. And today we are going to see what are the main features of this economic reforms which happened in India in 1991. 1991 ഇന്ത്യയിലുണ്ടായ എക്കണോമിക് റിഫോംസിൻ്റെ മെയിൻ ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് നോക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. സോ ഇൻ 1991 the finance minister of India, he declared the economic reforms with three main things. The first one was liberalization, second one was privatization, and third was globalization. Let's see what liberalization, privatization, globalization or what LPG is in detail. So the first one, that is liberalization. Now, as the name suggests, liberalization means making the rules and regulations liberal or making the policies which is framed by the government liberal to the public. This was introduced to increase the industrialization in the country or to welcome people or multinational companies to start their industries in India. So simply speaking, liberalization means to free the economy from the control which is imposed by the government. As we have discussed in the other two policies, that is the industrial policies, the fiscal policies, the exim policies, the rules and regulations which were put forward by the government before 1991 LPG was something which is very strict, something which was very stringent. It included industrial licensing system, the rules and regulations which included industrial licensing, foreign exchange control, price control of goods, import licenses. So all these systems, all these rules and regulations were made liberal under this liberalization. That is, these rules and regulations regarding these systems was made simple for people to start their own industries, start their own businesses in the country. So now we are going to see what are the steps which the government has taken in relation with liberalization. The steps which are taken by the government in relation with liberalization to make the economy liberal, to make the rules and regulations liberal for the country. The first step which was taken by the government was independent determination of the interest rates by the banks or financial institutions. So before the liberalization, the right to decide the interest rate of the money which is being lended by banks and financial institutions rest in the hands of the government. Government was the agency which decides the interest rate of the banks and financial institutions. But in liberalization, the change in the policy was made like the banks and the financial institutions can decide the interest rate for the money which is lent by them. And in order to bring that under a single head, RBI was set up in India. So the Reserve Bank of India was the head of all the banks and financial institutions which decides the interest rate of the country. The second thing was increase in the investment limit of small scale industries. So the second decision which government has taken was to increase or to promote the small scale industries in the country or to develop the small scale industries in the country. So for that, what they did is they increased the limit of investment of these small scale businesses. Third was to import capital goods from abroad. So in order to bring out more technology, more efficient machineries to industries, what the government did was they gave the freedom to businesses or industries to import certain goods from other countries also. And also the technical know-how, the technical systems, the main technologies, the developmental technologies. The government gave the right to industries to import those technologies, technical know-how also from other countries. And the next thing which the government did was freedom from Monopolies Act. You know what monopoly is? Just a single person is doing a business. So before this 1991 liberalization, the government was that single entity which did most of the businesses. ഒരുവിധ എല്ലാ ബിസിനസ്സുകളും എല്ലാ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസും റൺ ചെയ്തിരുന്നത് ഗവൺമെൻറ് മൊണോപ്പൊളിയിലായിരുന്നു. And under liberalization, what government did was they gave the freedom to other industries, the private parties also, to start that businesses. And the last one was removal of industrial licensing and registrations. So many paperworks and so many registrations had to be done by the private parties to start a business in the country before 1991. And under liberalization, the government removed all those licensing and all those formalities and all those registrations. And they made a simple policy for registering a business and running a business in the country.